Welcome to the Parsha Minute. This week's Parsha, along with the previous Parshas and the coming Parshas, discusses the genesis of the Jewish people. And specifically, it tells us the stories of Avraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and now we're up to the story of Yaakov as he finds his wives, Rachel and Leah. And he's going to meet them in his future father-in-law's house. His father-in-law's Lavan. But when talking about the Jewish people, it's important to see them as a unit, as a creation. Anything that's created, whether it's a biological organism, or whether it's a building, or an organization, it has a beginning. And the beginning is very, very critical to the future of the whole endeavor. The stem cells, that's why stem cells are so important. Everything grows out of a stem cell. The foundation of a building, the strength of the foundation ensures the height of the building, the strength of the whole building that will follow. And the same is true with the Jewish people. That's why it's important to really appreciate who Avraham and Sarah and Yitzchak and Rivka and Yaakov and Rachel and Leah were, because we are the products of who they were. And in this week's Parsha, we find something remarkable about Yaakov. Our father Yaakov was highly challenged by his father-in-law Lavan. Lavan was a wicked person, if we can say that about our great-great-great-grandfather. He took advantage of every opportunity that he could for his own benefit. And Yaakov was no different. He took advantage of Yaakov and cheated him in many ways. And nevertheless, Yaakov remained steadfast in his absolute integrity. He was never willing to compromise his own integrity because he was dealing with someone whose integrity was much less. And he always remained faithful to his obligations. And that's what he gave us. And that's every Jew has within him that ability to have a strong sense of integrity, to do the right thing. I want to share with you a story about my grandfather, a very great rabbi. His name was Reb Yackov Kamenetsky. It's interesting because his name was also Yaakov. And many people associated my grandfather, Reb Yackov, with that character, with that quality of honesty and integrity. So there's a very interesting story. He was a rabbi in Toronto, and one of his constituents gave him a gift, a beautiful silver dish. The next day, Reb Yaakov went to the silver store to have it appraised. And the person was very taken aback because he was the one who sold the dish to the constituent who bought it as a gift for Reb Yaakov. So he couldn't withhold his curiosity and said, Reb Yaakov, why do you want to know how much it's worth? So Reb Yaakov answered, because in Canada, you have to enter in your tax returns how much money you got, not only as salary, but as gifts as well. And it would be wrong for me to omit this gift. And that's why I need to know its value. And I think that every one of us, as grandchildren of our Yaakov, I don't mean my grandfather, I mean all of our common great-great-grandfather Yaakov, have within us that ability to garner that incredible integrity. And it's not limited to finance. It's in relationships. Are we honest with our relationships? How we deal with people, how we deal with our spouses, our children, and in everything. So I wish you a good Shabbos, and thank you for listening to the Parsha Minute.
Good.